Tangmala dashi delekshu. Tene Tedang Chabje Dada, Semjen Tamji Dada, Tobe Sangye Yukofon Togo Yu, Di Chedu, Chuning Yu Nyambe, Samba Chachewa, Changju Simgi Kunlong, and Dodang Neseno Ji Xuan.
Dashi Dele, everyone. Please listen to Dharma with the vast motivation of bodhicitta, thinking that I would like to become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings.
다 세제 최기림반니 다상 대화르셔봐 토베왕베 송베 도장륜 디나네 다류 업종아지게베나네 다류가바 류가바 되네
두번 말이야 두번 했어요
liu zhuba ganga daregi liu de shuigi kapsa babana de da khasang kashi chi gongda songne da dering gawale yosna tene khasang de ganga dare segendi da chelbogi then dashi jamnayang ko da ki toro machi then shimadam then tarar then jebogi then ko rabdu chung yegi nangwa tene then rabdu chung then sangje jamden le ki rabdu chung le chung chue songbala tene then tarwa tarbe게 고방 토만 다데 제보 마게 되네 상지 좀 된다라 코 되네 양라 총나야 마시 독사나야 마시 출라 총나야 마시 제벌 다 점나야 다 돌아마제 데 점생가래래 코 경험하게 레 가래서 버리 되네 단다 상지 정제네 되네 상지 퇴바성기 gelong ge ngover jur then ka chu sumba theba samge then dolor jur ju kare re sene sanji chom den la shu ne ta di lendi sum
This drama, many cousin. Oh, and the cousin on the part of songs, and the part. And the cousin song your mother. Yoshaga Yaman. There was some major to the cousin song your mother. But on a shas, good dozen. Get along the good dozen.
Get on the Jurso.
Oh, the
danger. Chomden de Chiri were cheating be same number of dolde, Dajumber journey, Rigwa sum, Tar dong, number sheba, Drugdong, number Tarba Jedang dember, then they then Topare, said them. Ta Rigwa sum, said the Karesegurina, Nungi Tala, Rigba, Nungi Tala. 다 개왕함에게 다 중주를 돼서 셰바 될랑가 인기 탈러링반 되네 침이 탈라 리바 다 개와 침말라 되네 간데 개와 가바 랭고고서 레 간데 싸고 데 게드라 리바 될라 되네 침이 탈라리만 되네 사과 세베 리바 되네 녀모 뭐진 동 녀모 탐제 세빈 사과 세베리 받은 숨다 대답에 리비기 숨 터반 리버스나 넘버시에바 두고 다 미기 넘버시에 넘버시에바 나웨 넘버시에바 뇌네 제수 된비 넘버시에바 응시 이제 준주기 넘버시에바 신심 시빙 넘버시에바 사과 세빙 넘버시에바당 되는 넘버시에바 두기 내양 건 토발에서 있는 다 줄라 되는 넘버 타바 제당 넘버 줄도 세타 넘버 타바 제 수진 수라타웨 넘버 타바 수메 수라타웨 넘버 타바 독베 넘버 타르바 남가 타이 기치기 넘버 타르바 남시 타이 기치기 넘버 타르바 지양 메비 기치기 넘버 타르바 전에 두시 메 두시 미민기 넘버 타르바 두시 동 서로와 곡베 넘버 타르바 세 넘버 타르바지 다들 이래 주지 땡인생게 넘버랑도 넘버 타르바지 넘버 타르바지 땡인생게수 다 넘버 타르비게 땡인생 기에 넘버 제 들어서 콜라 토바리 줄라게 와리 쓰나 덴버 줄도
So, out of 51 chapter of this sutra of the wise and foolish, we are working on the 6th one, which is called the chapter of the Devaputra Gangadhara. And we have done most of them already, until which says he become a monk, ordained bhikshu. Then, to continue from there, it says, the sutra says, the Bhagavan taught him appropriate Dharma, and he become arhat. He become an arhat, liberating his mind. And of course, when you become arhat, then you possess all the qualities of arhat, which namely says 3 vidya or 3 knowledge, 6 munshi or clairvoyances, or some people also translate as super knowledge. So anyway, something that can understand which we usually can understand. So it could be also called super knowledge. Usually it's translated as a clairvoyance, right? Clairvoyances, munches. And something called 8 liberation or 8 emancipations. So these are the technical term. If I give you some, when we say 3 knowledge or 3 vidya, the mind which can understand or which can know your past lives, that is the first one, and the second one is the mind which can know your future life, and then sakpa seba sheba means the mind which can understand the end of the imperfection or the exertion of the defilement, something like that. So these are a term that is used mostly in the and then sixth clairvoyance is the capacities of performing miracles, and the divine sight, which means we usually say Lai Mig, which the eye of the Deva, and then divine hearing. In the Tibetan we say Lai Nawa, which is actually ear of the divine ear, but here is hearing, which is I think better. And also recollection of the former lives. This is same as the first vidya or first knowledge out of the three knowledge, which you can understand, remember your past life. And cognition of the minds of others, which means one of these super knowledge is that you can read the mind of others, or you can understand what is going on other people's mind. and then Sakwa Sheping, that's the same again, the knowledge of exhaustion of the defilement. And the number Tapa Ge is the 8 liberations. 8 liberations are the liberation from regarding what has form to be form, the emancipation of regarding the formless as having form, the emancipation of the repulsive and clearing away hindrance, the four emancipation of the four formless state, and the emancipation of the cessation. That makes 8. Okay, so this Gangadhara, anyway, Gangadhara become monk and he practiced as he was taught by Buddha, and he became Arhat. So when he became Arhat, and then of course he possessed all the qualities of an Arhat, such as this, like 3 Vidyas and 6 super knowledge and 8 liberation. And then the King Ajata Sutra asked Buddha, told to Buddha, he said to the Bhagavan, what kind of virtues action this young man had done in the past that he didn't die, even he jumped over the cliffs. So it continued from the last Saturday. Therefore, he was trying to suicide, but he didn't die, no matter how hard he tried. So Ajanta Sutra asked Buddha, what kind of virtuous action this young man did, because even he jumped over the cliff, he didn't die. He jumped into the river, he still didn't die. And he consumed, or he had poison, but that also could not kill him. And then finally, the King Ajata Sutra shoot him arrows, but that arrows also could not die. So, and then now he met you, Bhagavan, and he become Arhat. So what kind of virtuous action he did to happen all these things?
Kyo shunno di ngen kiwi sawa jishik tu na amariyam kono. Da panjang kore thale towa churu je solwa dang. Chomden degi chelbo la degi je kazal to. Ngen debi du kalba tang meba deba na. Yul wara nasi she jawa na. Jelbo Changbejin Shejoshi Yude Sam. Di Gausu the Sanji Temba, maybe Gausu in the Rendo, round Sanji Tizugita, Dozen Jong Megos. Then Di Gabla then Yul Varanasi Telazin, Chevo Changbejin Shibaji, Shuyaban. Jelbo di Junmo Dong, Potangi, Lesu Chene. Game Chuldu, Roldo Shekso. Tene Jabozang, Junmo Seko Potangiza, Shabji Nang Yuse Tamje, Tene Lingala, Linga Dangala, Tene Pebari. Game Teldena Potangi, Le Dagi, Lulambadang, Rawe Chirune Mishiki Ke Chembu Rambu Dekba Jelbe Tososem. Then Podangi Kor Bangor Tamjigi, then Kimetan La She Dangbadang, then Kimetelgi Chilo Neyang, then She Dang in Kechik, then Jebogi Turbari. Jelbe Toso Jelbe de Tune Trade. Mede Sungla, Suji, Jekazaldo, De Chilone Shedamba, Dadi Tebadang, Jelbo Kondosane, then Jelbe Mede Sungne, Tazara Susho, Sene, Kanambari, Jekazaldom. De Tena Lumbashi, Chirune, Nangdong, Wale, Mede Tundosungwa, Tongne, De Kabla, Lumbachik. Then Lingagi Chirola Pene, Chilone Chu, Payongbegi Cup, then Lumbadigi, Midi Tundusun was on Tongbaran. Tongne, Yokor Namla, Jinye de Sung She Tiso, then the Shabji de Zola, then Lumbadigi. Ko nyeba garejene tene tsondo sungbare tsondo chingyo gare sene tiwarin 대다기 지질 중에 땀 십도문에 받은 되네 대소기다 깨자 십자 전에 가서 루랑데 코치로네 루랑바레 딜라데네 제보 공부 총네 되네 전도 진실스네 송바레 센다 십자문에 받은 럼보데 대달라 레시 마세바르 되지 코이 절보라 솔로세 되네 럼보데기 샤브제데절라 코 단다 때지 세 람사 세 마샤 녜제 볼라지 슈와지 푸게 세네 수마는 되나지.
So when the Bhagavan Buddha was asked by the King Ajata Shatru about this little boy who now become Arhat, then Buddha answered, or Bhagavan answered in this way. In the past, beyond countless kalpas or countless aeons, there was a king named Brahmadada or Sangbe Jin in Tibetan. Sangbe Jin actually means given by the Brahma. So Brahmadada is the Sanskrit name. So Buddha was now telling the history of the previous life of this particular boy who become Arhat. And then Buddha said, there was a king named Brahmadada in a country called Varanasi, so which is Banaras, I think now. So I think it was when there was no teaching of Buddha, but it was the time of the Pratika Buddha, practiced by themselves and become a Buddha. And then the king together, okay, now the Buddha is telling to the King Ajata Shatru the history of the past history of this particular boy who become a Arhat. This king, Brahmadada, in the Varanasi, together with his queen and entourages and palace attendants, went to enjoy in the garden, which means it seems they are having a picnic in the garden. It's just that the word in Tibetan says rolwa, means enjoy in the garden. So there should be something to be enjoyed, right? So it should be a picnic. And at that time, when they were already in the garden, a king, the queen, and all the entourage and the palace attendants and everyone. The entourages, right? You pronounce entourages? Entourage, plural. Oh, entourage. And palace attendant sang a song in the garden when they are having picnic or where they are enjoying in the garden. And then when they are singing a song, it was joined with a loud voice by someone from outside. And actually that made the king very angry. because king didn't want anyone disturb them. And then this person was joining the singing from the outside of the palace fence. Ravechilo. Ravechilo means the palace, we say fence, right? Fence. The outside from the someone who was, I think, who was passing by, just joined the sing with a very loud voice, and that made the king very angry. And then, of course, king was king. He just gave an order to be killed that person. So the king heard it, which made him very angry. So he gave order to catch the man and execute them, execute, or give him a death penalty. At that time, when the man was caught, but he was not executed yet. At that time, in between some time, that a minister came in outside from outside, came into the palace, and then he saw the man who was caught there and who was about to be killed or about to be executed. And then the minister asked the attendant who were catching him, what happened with this man, what crime he committed. And then the minister was informed in everything in very detail, what happened with him, and then what the king told them to do. Then the minister said, okay, maybe you please wait a while. Don't kill him right away. I'm going to talk with the king and see if there's anything I can do for him. So please wait a while. Don't kill him until I come back. So he went in and talked to the king. So.
Jelbola dige soldo tene lomba di porana la pene jebola shuwa yon gomdo tipi mi de gumbala tobe nomba magiso se ta se sala tito mi di tene nyeba sok la babege lega nyeba kanya che mendo tende gi nyeba chimbo kanya mendo se shunjim Lo langbe rambo tekba ni suksu minangwe mirikbi loa ringbadang sim. Lo langbe gi rambo tekba sina ta kejaba do. Tene suksu minangwe suksu tuba kanya yo mare tene mirikbi loa ringbadang ta korangi kanso marikbi loa tuba ta korang Lu Langa de la Towa Gay, Shinchak, Towa Gay ne, Langbare Mato, Jebola Nyobaja was a Lu Lamba Remendo. Dunmala Nendo Giba Malaki, Jebola Yang Neba Jeo Mare, then Jebegi, Tunmola Nebigi Layang, Kogi Jemendo. Di Sola took the order Gongde, Tangwe Rixo, Di Injang, then 제보 독세의 공내 거기서는 그 속토를 세다 땅나 나로 지선의 제보를 주는 시에서는 절배장 마세바 통시 제가들도 름배 대시거든 되네 제보양 되기도 되고 세고면도 땅나시나 되기도 선에서는 나와 도발은 미데 롬보데 욕제발라 슈크데 되네 디 세산네 정항네 되네 롬보 코랑기 티네 되네 코랑기 섭지지네 티송하는 제발라 슈크데 치로 망식 롬바다 디냠도 삼모세 되네 제베게 강소 somebody 실름베기 섭지진에 로 가젠지 도즈다 로 잡주 종안도 버지 자는 대다 디네 코랑라 삼로지 코르바리 세다 디 좀바 섭지되는 대차기 매반니 레디 소위 노데 다 대차기 되네 매반 다 대차 코랑 셰라 신작기네 랑베기 루 두버는 자 대차기 매바디니 되네 레디기 솔레장 되네 노와지 레두 섬네 코랑 되네 삼로당 코론 덕 디더 냠 탁바양 되차기 치로 냠 nga tene gangso nyanga chimbo tende tuwe de yang tene ngarang lu la shenchak ke ba kebi gi wangi lu lang ba re de la tene chung ba re sanyam ne samne lombo de la dog rab du chung shin tarbi lam gom du chi nang she sun ne tene korang samlo tang ne da korwa la 닝보 매바지 하고 되네 최라 다 강조 코로알리 타루이기 탑최 주야기 로직이네 되네 제 롬볼라 롬보 첨보 당하 랍드 중네 가 최직 주야기 되네 되바요 세네 롬볼라 슈번 롬보 대장 케 타르비 람 곰나 다장게 미제기 dene lombe chorang tarbi lam dambi gi chu duge yuna dela nge ke chigi me parche chigi me sene nangwa to bare ke tarbar jurna yang chir dag dang tedo shokji je고 chorang chu jene dene tarba top 제보 양다 보 톱나 dene 양절 ngala nga tuka sho sene lombe ge dene dene sene labje 잡네 땅면 미디 웬바로 송네 된 담바 예라 제데 전주 잠배 랑 상제수 주르네 치량 동거도 송데 럼버 첨보 갈로와 대로 홍소세 되네 미디 녜중 조시 예발라 되네 되네 웬바라 송네 된 담배기 최곰 잡네 저로 된 담배 곰 최로 곰 잡네 일하지 준주 전에 신도네 준주 저버 잡네 되네 랑자 상제기 대부터 버래 그래서 랑 상제기 대부터 랑 상제기 대부터 받은 치란 양자를 동태는 라 용네 되네 럼버기 예살라 자르와레 럼버 예살라 자르 대롱소 럼버 첨보데 랍도간네 수념당 초위 유지 넘버시 메딜와를 필로 얘네 럼버야 베 제소 예랑나 셈가와 또와겠네 되네 랑상제들라 수념명 필 초위기 유지 넘버시 최근 남성 홍세 당시 임부터 섬기듯이 소유진 남시 미들월 되네 강소 통반 매버터 보지 다 준치 매버터 보지 불화인 물론 되네 랑상제 대 땡기 남할라 박네 꿀리 추바바상 꾸메리 추밥 꾸텔리 추밥 꾸메레 매중원 되네 왜서치 못동 와라속데 총들 넘버 좁제 된도 다 총들 넘버 미터와 되네 넘버 좁제 되네 템바네 넘버 첨보데 대답부 덕 통내 다 넘버디 되네 랑상지기 준비 템바데 통내 세 매비 또와게 돼 양재량 넘버디진 배 셈바 또와 게네 셈로 또와게네 디게도 담제소 사멜람 잡아서 롬바지 담전 미디 다기 딩기 초월 줄기 다코 랑산지 대부 토비아정 썸버제네 대 토비아디 되네 가딜라 되네 코토 되네 썸버제네 대야 톱 디마세비 되네 최제네 랑산지 대부 토바레스 다 가르케장 센싱 축보당 디 기위자와 딜라 때네 당아 강 깨와치만에 네 강도 깨바 있나양 왕탕 셈바 센싱 축보당 체링와당 신배 자주 동주를 신도 박신 예시등 선남장 디당년바를 줄지 얘네 선남당 예시 파마세 얘네 예시 다 강조 리그 연된 손 응은시 주 넘바 살바 제 라소베 연대냥 되네 랑상제 대당 냠바 토바르 쇼 선생님 거랑 말람 잡아라 이런 제 말람 답고
And the minister went into the palace and he told to the king. He said, the man who is caught and about to be executed has not committed a crime that makes him deserve a death penalty. And the minister said to the king, because just joining in the singing cannot be seen something that is against you, king, and also he didn't do anything wrong with the queen. Therefore, he doesn't deserve the death penalty. Therefore, please have some compassion on his life and release him. So this is how the minister requested to the king. And then king listened to the minister, and then king said, okay. Then the king gave another order. He says, okay, now release the man without execution. You don't have to kill the man. So the man was released, and the minister saved his life. Then the man became attendant of the minister who saved his life. And then after many years, he served the minister, maybe 10 or 15 years. Then the man had a thought. I think I should use the past tense. Had a thought, not has a thought. Okay, the man had a thought. He thought, being harmed by desire is even sharper than a sword. This is kind of a poetic way. If you hit a sword on your head, it's very sharp. But he says, being harmed by a desire is even sharper than a sword. And the situation through which I am going through right now is also because of desire. Maybe he was just attached to singing or something like that, so he just sang together the entourage of the kings, and then he got this punishment. That's why he says the situation which I'm going through right now is also because of the desire. Therefore, being harmed by a desire is even sharper than a sword. Then he asked the minister to let him to be a monk and practice. Yes. And then he said, please give me your permission so I can become an ordained monk and meditate on the path of liberation. Lam, which means to practice the Dharma. And minister was very good, actually. He was very kind. Initially, he saved his life. Now he is very willing to give him the permission. The minister said, okay, I will not disturb you if you really want to meditate on the path of liberation. Which means, if you would like to practice Dharma, I will let you do that. I'm not going to disturb you. I'm not going to stop you from practicing Dharma. So the minister gave him the permission. And not only permission, also he advised. He says, okay, if you become liberated, then come and visit me again when you are liberated after practicing. And then the man got permission from the minister. So he went to practice. He went to a very solitude place where there is no distraction. And then it says, and he meditated on the ultimate, which means he meditated on the ultimate truth, and with a great effort, and then he became a Pratyeka Buddha. So as he was told by the minister, after he achieved the state of Pratyeka Buddhahood, then he came back to the town where minister was living or dwelling. Then he went to see the minister after he became a Pratyeka Buddha. And the minister was extremely happy to see him being a Pratyeka Buddha. And then he offered him alms. Sunyam means the offering. And also it says Chowe Yoji Hi, which means the 4 necessities of livelihood. Or some people also translated as a requisite of livelihood. So it's just usually for monk we usually say 13 requisites of livelihood. But here Khenpo said it should be when he say 4, it should be 3 dharma robes and begging bowl. So that is what it means. So the minister become very happy and also very devoted, and then he actually become a kind of jinda or no the benefactor. So he every day he offer him alms, and also when it was necessary he just offer him the 4 requisites of livelihood. And then of course when the time comes, the Pratika Buddha sword, right? Sword means fly, something like S-O-A-R-E, sword, or maybe I can say fly, but it flew. But in Tibetan it doesn't say flew, it says pak, means sword. Just I better use the sword maybe word, because in Tibetan it's purva is flying. The pakpa is just just jumping up, something like that. So I say sword. He soared high in the sky. Or he soared high in the space. And thank you, Namkala. And he in the space, and he performed 18 kinds of miraculous. He actually showed the 18 different kinds of miraculous power of a Pratika Buddha. For example, such as making water flow from his okay, so he made water flow coming from his upper part of the body, and then he performed fire coming burst forth from his lower part of the body, and also he made lots of different kind of light radiation out of his body. Then minister was very, very happy now. And then it says his joy has no the joy of the minister had no boundary. And seeing such things, and he made aspiration in this way. So when the minister saw his attendant, who used to be his attendant, now become a Pratika Buddha and perform all these miraculous, then he was very much inspired. And then he made kind of a very determined aspiration. He said, because of my kindness, the minister thought, this man is alive. Otherwise, he would have already died long time ago. Now he is a Pratika Buddha. So, because of merit of that, wherever I be born in the future life, may I be a powerful, rich, long life, and hundreds of thousands times better than others. And especially, may I receive all the qualities of wisdom and merit equal to those that this particular Pratika Buddha possess, such as the three vidya or 3 knowledge, 6 muishe or 6 super knowledge, and 8 liberation. And he made this particular minister made this kind of aspiration at that time when he saw the Pratika Buddha performing the miraculous power.
네, 점된데기 절보라 까절바. 다 점된데기네 양 절보 마게달라 가지. 대체 대두나 럼버데 미치기 속 잡데 대부 토벌 제바 되니 미치기 속 잡네 되네 대부 랑상지기 대부 토벌 제긴 대 럼버데레스 네 디노 텐데 어디 갑게 럼버디 되네 다리기 되네 다잡네야 마보 마시 양라 총나야 마시 출라 총나야 마시 두 사나야 마시긴 미디 디레 디 속잡기다 대부디레도 디 겐기 강내 강도 개장 다디 겐당 직 코랑기 말람당니 라테네 테네 미디 강당 강도 개장 속에 바치 또 마주르제 코랑기 체 가제 임바데네 데 타르침만 마도 테네 속에 바치도 줄 남야 줄요 말에서 디네 송데 다 나당 테네 대부 촉토발 줄도 단다 나당 테네 테네 대부 촉 건조 원시당 남바살베기 연대나데메기 대부지 토바레스 점된데기 대게제 숭발라 코르 몽보 탐제 예랑님 남바를 가우 해부 강가 다라시제위 류 대두바우.
And the Bhagavan was still communicating with the King Ajatashatru. Bhagavan said to the king, he said, at that time, in Tibetan we have two words, I don't know how to translate it, it means the same. They say, they do. Means at that time, at that moment, maybe I say. We have two words in Tibetan. They say, they do not, means at that time, at that moment, that minister saved a person. And also he made a great aspiration. And that's why he got this result. And because of this good action that he did, and the strong aspiration he made, no matter where he was born, nothing could be obstacle for his life until his lifespan is exhausted. So, and now he made me, and he received, or he achieved the supreme result. It's a Debu Chok, supreme or best result, which means he become Arhat. So this particular boy was actually that minister who saved the person who sang together with the entourage of the palace. And then, because of that cause, they can, and because of that condition, no matter where he was born, unless his lifespan was exhausted, nothing could be his obstacle for his life. And now he achieved the supreme result, which means he become an arhat and possess all these three knowledge and six clairvoyances or super knowledges and 8 liberations. And when Buddha taught this, all the retinue who were there rejoiced and praised the Buddha. And this is the 6th chapter of this sutra, which is called the chapter of the Devaputra Gangadhara. That is so party Dixamarena. That come just a moment. The go to him, so the cake now. The end don't go roya. Can't it now? Go to Natu, Karana. Come just a moment. Choose to do.
야, 다 레우dimba. 제보 셀제기 부모 dorje 레우진. 다 제보 셀제 제보 셀제스인데요. 년역이 제보. 상제 좀 된데 총바당 니마치글라 뒤직도 제보가 총바래. 근데 뒤 상마 상제 좀 된데기 진다죠. 제보 셀제제 제보 숙진님보제 제보 람낭제 네네 강이가 제보 셀제 제보 숙진님보 제보 람낭 제보 아니데만 가네
라서버 송샤는 야만
라
라서버 송샤는 내 중마도 하셔라
네가 되네 디 제보 셀제디 지 되네 상제 좀 되는 게 진다 지그래 니에기 제보 셀제 데 다 데라 부모 되네 다 dorje 다 밍디 dorje 자 세마직 중발에 다 되기 리오네.
So we are moving to the next chapter, which is the 7th, and the name of this chapter is called the chapter of a princess. In Tibetan, it doesn't say princess; it's just a daughter of the king, King Salgyal, or his Sanskrit name is Prasenajit. Prasenajit, and Prasenajit is the king of the Shravasti. And the Buddhist story says, when Buddha was born, on the same day, another 5 kings also born, and then one of them was the Prasenajit, and then another one was very famous one, who was the father of this famous king Ajatasattu, which we call Bimbisara, and so forth. And then all and then all these 5 kings who were born on the same day on which Buddha was born became a student and benefactor of Buddha. So the soldier, in Tibetan it's called Gyabo Salgyal or Prasenajit, was one of them, and he was the king of Saravasti. And then he had of course, he was father, but in the sutra it says his queen had a daughter. And then she was named Dorje or Vajra. That's all.
Dorje ya dege dage teba du jigna seta de ya lengshi da kan ka du jungba kan de se jungba re sena da de ga ge ne lo dang ta wa shak du su gi nge ba yo ma re da den de du su den de jig la se ma jigna 좀 전에 년에 제일 제일지기 첼 그메 세진기 근거로 나 쇼소 대체나 제일 셀jel기 준마 첨보 바리 시저월라 보모직세네 보모디 민 도르제 셰탁데 신 럽도 미숙바 류기 샤 신도 주바 딱박다를 싸워 자 땅옥다를 쇼르와 식대세 다 제벌 세모 준모 발리시 스웨기 좀 모델라데니 세모 미숙바 직다 미숙바 생전지 총발에서 되네 지 총마다 민 되네 도르지 세네 따바레 따바에 다신 럽도 미두바 남바야 미두바 류기 샤 신도 쭈보 되네 따기 바바나 신 여바당 싸와당
따르다 따르더라 따르다 따르다 히데 따르베 따르바 사도 따따가
따그래 따그래 따기 바 따르 싸와 자 땅옥다를 쇼르와 따디네즈네 따이기 세요로 디도 다 건소 초보이와시데 젤베 장부모데 미도베 미가네 포장내낭도 수장 미동웨 네 식도 깨도세 되네 제보양 되네 세모지 미도버 임발라테네 툭 마녜네 되네 포장낭라 수직이 마통설라 마통설직라 되네 샤네 되네 미 신다 통설라 자네 땡기요 말이세 되네 신도 깨도 세리다 야 차롱 제발인들이 미수지 마통배 강바직낭라 차롱지
And this chapter, the chapter of the Vajra or Dorje, and the daughter of the king Prasenajit, it started like again as same as all the sutra. It says, I have heard that once the Bhagavan was dwelling in the hall of the Anathapindada in Jetavana in Saravasti. So there is no exact time, no exact day, no exact month, and no exact year, but approximately there was a, and then at that time the sutra says a daughter was born to the great queen her name was Barley in Tibetan. I don't know her Sanskrit name. I have never heard, but I just used the Tibetan word Barley of King Prasenajit. So maybe king had many queens. So this is one particular queen who had this daughter. At that time, our daughter was born to the great queen Barley of King Prasenajit. But somehow, and the daughter was named as Vajra or Dorje. Her face was extremely ugly, very bad looking, and then it says her flesh. I think maybe I can just get skin, maybe better. But in Tibetan it doesn't say pakpa, it says sha. Sha is meat or flesh. But I think what the skin, I think. Her skin was very hard and rough. Example given, it says like a skin of tiger. Her skin or her flesh, if I directly translate from the Tibetan word, her flesh was very rough and very hard as a skin of tiger. And her, so this is saying all the ugly things. Her hair was as coarse, right? Coarse, you know, coarse, C-O-A-R, coarse. As it says horse man, you know, man. Horse as here is man, right? M-A-N-E, man, right? Horseman. So she was so ugly that king was very unhappy to have this daughter. But since she was born at one of the queen, he kept her at a place in the palace where nobody could see her. And then she was brought up secretly. Brought up, right? Yeah, she was brought up secretly there without letting anyone see her. That's all. Okay, we stop here today. So next Saturday, which is on 19, and next up next, which is 26, we don't have teaching because we'll be performing the long life pujas for His Holiness birthday. So after that, in July, we will resume again. Okay, now we do the Sajjana Dharma. Oya maya nam kha da nyam be sim jen tam jen lama sangye rinpo chala gyab zon jo sangye chudan gyun nam la gyab zon jo lama ye dam khando so la gyab zon jo rang sen dong so chu jen gu la gyab zon jo maya nam kha da nyam be sim jen tam jen lama sangye rinpo chala gyab zon sangye chudan gyun nam la gyab zon jo lama ye dam khando so la gyab zon Rangsen dongsan jikye kolan gyabsan chewa ma nam kha da nyen pe san jen tam jen lama sangye rinpo chala gyabsan chewa sangye chudan gyun nam la gyabsan chewa lama ye dam khando sola gyabsan chewa rangsen dongsan jikye kolan gyabsan chewa man be 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 Oman be moman 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 be Oman be moman 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 be Oman be moman 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 be Oman be moman 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 Omane be me avoye da loye bora gele gövay tendane da joy be zevay so semje ye me deve Jide kam zoy joy waraya mai györeji Chedar jeme tebe ze jayji Keje je la le
ne do ma je ba de ka so yo wa ma je she da je ka na ze ba da ne ge me za de be da je be ne je ba da be re so ye lu je ga la ne ba ra ma je ne be ge re do da je jo da lo ra ye ro so ya ro jo da she ja za ye ne la so ba yi lu je ga la ze wa ya ma ge ra je lu ze de wa ya ma ya lu ro ze be yong je ro be do nga je nye ba ma lo je je da ya do de ba ya da se ne me de ge de ba ra jo la ma ya go jo so ge de ba da han ro je jo so me no do ya da le de lo wa me be de do ge mo ya mo la da je do ba ra jo ya la ma go jo so ge do je da kan ro je jo so me no do da le de lo wa me be de do ge mo ya mo la da je do ba ra jo ya la ma go jo so